Throughout 2025, it became clear that Egypt had four missions to achieve in the Gaza crisis: end the war, prevent forced migration of Palestinians from the enclave, ensure sustainable flow of aid, and establish a unified governance mechanism. To achieve that, Egypt and Qatar rallied one of the biggest international diplomatic campaigns ever, which concluded with the Sharm el-Sheikh Peace Declaration.
In every city around Europe, or in Doha or in Cairo, we were the main participant and the main player and the main facilitator and negotiator to achieve this peace agreement.
Egypt presented the reality of the crimes happening due to the Israel occupation in the Palestinian territories. This image presented to the world revealed the true nature of what Israel was doing. That convinced the world what was happening in Gaza was truly a genocide. This was one of the reasons that made so many leaders show up at the Sharm el-Sheikh Peace Conference.
Held in October, the conference saw US President Donald Trump commit to ending the war in Gaza, along with some of Europe's most influential leaders. This was the pinnacle of months of international lobbying that also saw a wave of countries like the UK and France officially recognize a Palestinian state. At the United Nations General Assembly in September, 157 nations across the world supported the right for Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank.
A sovereign country as big as Egypt couldn't accept to be talked in a way that Trump did, to impose on it his aspirations concerning the future of Gaza. Egypt saw that was against its national security. It rejected all what Trump suggested about displacement. This firm stance from Egypt made Trump reconsider his vision for the Middle East.
A ceasefire deal between Hamas and Israel following 3 days of intensive negotiations in Sharm el-Sheikh meant that humanitarian aid could finally enter Gaza. Famine had been declared in Gaza 2 months earlier in August by the United Nations. Egypt had opened all its land, sea and airports to welcome aid from across the world. But that massive quantity of aid hit the bottleneck Israel created at the borders it controlled, forcing the aid flow to slow down and in many occasions to come to a complete stop. President Trump in early December announced that the second phase of the ceasefire will soon come into effect, paving the way for Gaza's reconstruction. As the only country other than Israel that shares a land border with Gaza, Egypt's role in the Palestinian crisis and that of the future of Gaza is inevitable. The Egyptian leadership's focus now is to make the ceasefire agreement enter its second stage, where a group of independent Palestinians will govern the enclave so that reform and reconstruction can begin. Adel, Mahrouky, CGTN, Cairo.